How's it going? I'm doing a simple recording here. I'm hoping to do a complete collection kind of video thing. I'm going to do this in parts, and I'm hoping instead of like just doing a quick scan of my entire collection, I hope to give you all just a rundown of the games I picked and everything like that, and to show you that these games matter to me and everything. But I'll try to maybe set up where you can have it just look really quickly and see all the games I got if you don't want to hear me talk about them all. But I feel it's much better for me to go personal about these games. Now, I can't go all deep in story with every game because, come on, I didn't grow up playing every single game, though I wish I did. But this is just to give you a better idea of just me and these games and my connection upon them and your connection to them too. I think it's great to hear stories about our games and what we love and why we love them. So I figured I'd start with the first console that I adore and I love the most out of them all, and that is the PlayStation 1. I adore it, and it's the one that I have the most games for. I wonder if you can hear the rain. But anyway, I want to just go over the first set. There's probably going to be about it's going to be a 4-parter more actually. So let's just get right to it, and we'll start with my oldest ones. We'll try to go through this alphabetically, and that is Ace Combat, original long box, stuff that I'm super proud about, all mint condition, inside, nice and neat. Now, I didn't grow up playing Ace Combat, and it's actually a pretty decent game. Now, I didn't play as much as I would like to play on this, but it did have an impact on me, and I do know that this is a well-made game for its time. I know that there's a lot better iterations now out there. You can get on the PS2 and everything, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get those at some point. But for the original PS1 and long box, wow. I mean, the visual, and I love the style of the planes. They do look really nice, and when you play them in the game, they wow. And I didn't really get too far in the game because I'm not really into air flight simulators and all that stuff. But for what this was and when it came out, I would have been impressed if I got it back when I was a kid. But even now, I'm proud to have it part of my collection. Moving on. Now here's a game that I remember growing up playing. Alien Trilogy. Now here it is, long box, complete. Here's the inside, if you want to see. This game is hard. I mean, really hard. I didn't get very far on this. Now, back when I was a kid, I couldn't play this. Because, I just wasn't really good at games, and this was really hard. And even now, back to my skill now I have, it's still hard. But, this is probably the last really old original Alien game that's out there that was still good. Now, this is still a fun game. Though, controls are really clunky, and they could use an update in the controls. But overall, it's a hard game, and aliens are threatening, the facehuggers are threatening, and I didn't get too far in the game, like I said, because just the fact of the sheer difficulty of it. But I did hear that it's got some cheat codes, and maybe I'll just do that and put some cheat codes in there and to see how far I can get in that. That way I can just experience everything. I do admit the sound effects of the guns are great, just the environment is dark and spooky. It is a well-designed plane, they just needed to find more work into it, and it would have been a gem on the PS1. I kid you not. I am proud to have this on part of my collection for sure. Moving on. Descent. Now here's a game that I thought was not going to be no big deal. I kind of got in this collection thing, and I was like, hey, look at this. I wonder what this is. And wow. Yeah, I never played Descent when it first came out. Oh, I maybe should show you the back and everything. There's the back of it. Side. Inside. Good game. Controls are phenomenal. At first you're confused with it, but man, they nailed it with the controls on this game. You start flying around and buzzing around and doing everything. Doing complete flip around and everything. I know I'm messing around all around the camera, but man, it was actually a really good game, and I'm well deserved to be in anyone's PS1 collection. Is Descent. I want to actually dig more into this game because it was fun. I enjoyed every single second I played this game. And it was hard, but not really super hard, but still challenging. And I appreciate that in a game. Not to the point where you're just destroying me, but not to the point where you're just spoon-feeding me. So, yeah, look up Descent if you ever get a chance. It is a well-looked-at game. Moving on. Now, here's one I did grow up playing. Destruction Derby. Now, this is not as mint as I would like it to be, but it's decent, and I'm happy to be able to have it in my credit collection. There's the side of it. There's the back of it. Sadly, this one does not come with the styrofoam. There's the inside. But Destruction Derby was a major impact, not just for myself, my entire family enjoyed Destruction Derby. We still talk about this game. It was the first game where you had collisions and damages, and I was ever the first time I experienced where you can die from your vehicle too much damage. The figure 8 racetrack. Man, I was sitting there playing it, and it still controls great. Man, the load times are incredible. I kid you not. I mean, I was sitting there, it's like, when I popped this in, I was like, man, let's see if this load is great. And I kid you not, it's like 2 to 3 seconds, and you're already in the game and doing the race. Man, I would name Destruction Derby holds a special place in my heart, and I am so glad to have it as a part of my collection. Now, I would like to maybe get a better condition version with styrofoam, but for what I got, I think it was like $3 I got this for. Then it was well worth it, and it's not the worst condition, just got a few cracks at the top. Other than that, I'm missing the styrofoam. Other than that, it's fixed. Fine. The disc holder did come out at the top here, but I just super glued it in, and there you go. No loss or damage or anything. So, Destruction Derby, another game, look it up. Moving on. Doom. The original Doom. Came on a PC, of course, and it got so many iterations, and eventually came on the PS1. Now, I adore Doom. Doom is one of my most favorite FPS games, and not just Doom alone. I adore Doom clones. By Doom clones, that was a name that they translated from just any game that looked like a Doom game. Eventually, it became FPS, but now I refer to Doom clones as games that hold the 2D perspective in a 3D perspective, like sprite graphics, but in first-person mode. Basically, I call those Doom clones because they like Doom, but they're not Doom. I adore Doom clones. Now, I have several other games that are Doom clones, and I enjoy those well, but nothing compares to the original Doom. Now, I maybe should show you the back side. Here's the back. Here's the inside with the styrofoam and disc, manual and all. Great condition. So happy to play this. Now, this is not, I would say this for a collective thing, go get this. But yours better name, it doesn't perform that well on the PS1. It's not very smooth, and it's got really plain colors. If you can't, go look up the PS3 BFG edition, or just PC alone will get you to find it, or you can just go to a PSN or Xbox Live. You can pretty much find it. I don't know if it's on Wii U. I might want to look that up. But look up Doom. If you're a collector, this is a much worthy thing to have in your collection, and I'm proud to have it here because it holds an impact in my life, and I still enjoy playing Doom whenever I have the chance. Another really good one. I wish I could try to get a better condition one, but Gex. Now, when I grew up, we used to call him Ginks. Or Jinx. Jinx, that was it. Jinx is what we used to call him. His real name is Gex, but when we were growing up, we called him Jinx. And I don't know, I like both names. I still appreciate both of them. Now, here's the side of it. There's the back of it. Or the front of it. There's the back of it. Now, if you see, the only damage is... I don't know why they do that. They rip out the bar tag on the bottom of it. I don't know why they do it. I actually got another thing in there where they, like, gouged a hole in my game, and just so they had ruined the bar tag. I didn't understand it. So, I just gotta maybe try to find some point of getting a better box. There's the inside. No styrofoam, but at least the manual and the disc. Disc in great condition. Name Jinx or Gex, however you want to look at it, the name. Gex's name was one a heck of a game back when it was. It's one amazing platformer, and it needs more love. I adore Jinx or Gex. I keep getting the names mixed up. Gex, Jinx, whatever. It's a great game, and I wish there were more of it. Now, I don't get into much in the 3D platform ones that came out, the newer ones, but the 2D side-scrolling sprite graphic design, man, I love it. I love his jokes. I would love to actually see a new one. To me, this is almost like the South Park before South Park, if you think about it. He makes a lot of jokes about current events and current movies and stuff like that, and I would love to see him make a comeback in such a way. I think you have so much material nowadays that you would be able to pull off another Gex. So I hope they do it, and frankly, I go back to original sprite graphics. Go right to sprite graphics, go back to 2D side scrolling. I know maybe some people might not disagree with that, that's fine, it's personal opinion, but I think he's an opportunity for a good comeback. Please, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, anybody, Kickstarter. That's becoming really popular these days. Kickstarter. Bring back Gex. Give me us decks. Moving on. Another one that needs more love, and I need to get a better box. Jumping Flash, a PlayStation exclusive that needs more love. This is a good game. Bizarre, but good game. It's funny as heck. Now, I do need to get a better box. The parts of it's flapping off. I like it's just super glued that, but it's got the price tag, and I'm worried if I rip that, I might ruin the cardboard on the top. Backside's almost flawless. Inside came out pretty good. Manual and styrofoam and disc. This is on perfect condition. That's the only problem with it, but Jumping Flash has another impact. I remember having the first and second one. And, man, they're still good games. They're quirky as heck. I don't know, there's really no way to explain that Jumping Flash is just basically an FPS platformer. That's basically it. You do double jump, and you shoot guns, and you pick up power-ups, and you destroy enemies. It's very Japanese. You really gotta embrace the Japanese. Back when I was a kid, I didn't understand it. It just seemed like a platformer, a crazy game. But now, I really see the Japanese in this game. And I would love to see Sony come back to Jumping Flash. You have so many opportunities to bring it back. It doesn't have to be a full-fledged AAA title. Bring it back in such a new form or something like that. It doesn't even have to be FPS. I can see him even doing it in a third-person mode style. It's worthy of a comeback. And I actually can imagine a 2D side-scroller. I'm kind of a big fan of 2D side-scrollers. But Jumping Flash is another great game to look into. I wouldn't recommend you going out of your way, but if you ever see the opportunity, get the game and try it out. It's on PSN as well, so you can't say you can't find it. So, Jumping Flash, worthy of a game to try out, and I'm sure you're going to get a good laugh out of it. Moving on. Hopefully I'm pronouncing this alright. Kileak DNA Imperative. DNA Imperative. I can't read. So, I'm joking. I can read at least decently. But here it is. The Kileak is the backside. Side of it. Inside. Manual styrofoam. This is an interesting game. I never even known anything about this game. It just was part of my, like I said, I picked up a bundle kind of thing. And wow, I was actually pretty amazed by this game. It was actually pretty good. It's actually named half decent. I think it was one of the first releases that came with the PS1 when it first came out. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that, but for what it is, it was pretty fun. I actually enjoyed it. I did think I changed the controllers a little bit in this to make it more smoother, but do that, and man, it's actually pretty good. It did have a little puzzling. I did play it for quite a while, surprisingly. Music was good, enemies seemed threatening, though I started breezing through it pretty goodly. But I don't know if it was probably going to start getting upping the ante in difficulty. But this actually was a really good game. I'm actually telling you, recommending it. I'm actually going to recommend this game. It was actually pretty fun. No doubt. Now, this only came in long box, so it's kind of hard to find in this form. So, try to get a look. I don't think it's on PSN. The only way to play it is like this or emulator, which if you can't find it, try to. But if you can't help it, try to emulate it, because I don't know if there's any other way to play this game. So you're not really at fault in that. So try it out, and if you can, try to find the game, because it's worth the play. Next one is a pretty adorable one to my heart and to the family. The original Kingsfield. Yep. Now here's a game that has an impact on my life as well. Here's the back of it. And here's the side of it. Styrofoam and manual. Discs in the back. Styrofoam's messed up. This game, now my mother used to play this game quite a bit. And I think she beat the first one or second one. I can't quite remember. I think she actually beat the first one. But man, this was one hard game, even for this time. Even for now, it's still a challenging game, and it still holds up pretty good. Though slow, but decent. It is actually still a really good game, and it's worthy of your time. Now, most people, I'm just curious if most people don't know that this is actually the first Souls game. Yes, you heard that right. From Software had major part in this. Demon Souls, which is actually the successor to Kingsfield. This is the original Demon Souls, or Dark Souls, or Bloodborne, however you want to look at it. This is the original. And when you play it, you actually feel the demon souls. Once you know that prior and you start playing it, you can actually feel the mood, the darkness, the loneliness, the danger, because you can die. You die really easy in this game. And that's that hard. Now, I think it's a little bit more forgiving because they had a little bit more saver points and stuff like that, but you can, if you don't save it, you die from your last save point. There is no checkpoints in this game, or at least named PS1. I don't know about PC or anything, but this game is amazing, and I'm so glad to have such a smooth and great condition and with complete. Look up Kingsfield if you can. There's even a second one. Then try to look for that as well. Though I think I actually prefer the original one, because the Kingsfield 2 has something in there that kind of bugged me, and I'll get to that when I get to that collection. So, look up Kingsfield. I say it again, worthy of your time. Moving on, here's another game I grew up playing. Loaded. Now, not the greatest. Here's the side of it. Might just show you the case before I start talking. Here's the back of it. Sorry. Inside, complete, styrofoam and all. Loaded was actually a pretty decent game. Now, I did pop it in recently, and it is aged a lot, and the controls are really, really stiff. But, even for it, I still appreciate it. It was still fun time to play. Though, it got repetitive really quickly. But, I remember playing as a kid, and I remember us having a heck of a time, because it is a 4-player, if I recall. No, 1 to 2 players, sorry. 1 to 2 players, and I used to remember playing with my brothers or sister, and we actually enjoyed this game. Loaded was a good impact of my life. Now, I can't really recommend Loaded. I won't give honest review, like my review saying this is bad, 9 out of 9, or 10 out of 10, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just telling you that it's a good game, but if you got more money, it could be spent somewhere else, spend it somewhere else. But it's still at least enjoyable. And Interplay. I wonder, I can't recall about Interplay. Never mind. I won't get into that. Just making the video longer than what it needs to be. But Loaded, I had a fun time playing it. It's very chaotic, and you're basically a psychopath, and you're killing lots of people. Now, you're not like killing innocent people. You're just killing other psychopaths, actually, really. And security guards. So if you want to be a rebel, woo! Loaded. Then moving on. Now, here's a game I didn't grow up playing. The original Need for Speed. There's the front, there's the back. Here's the inside. Complete, manual, styrofoam, disc, like new condition. There it is, Need for Speed. Now, I popped this in, now I didn't even play this. Here we are in the PS4 era. Wow, this is actually really fun. Especially if you pop this in a PS3 and you use headphones. Wow, this is actually really good. You grind against walls, the sound effects of this, and the cars, and it even has a cockpit mode. I know, I probably wouldn't have played it back when I was a kid, but now that I'm older, I enjoy cockpit mode. I love being behind that steering wheel and driving. This is actually an amazing game, and this is what Need for Speed needs to come back to. Now, most people, I would love to go back to this and Underground, but we'll get off that subject. We're talking about the game. Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed the original is worthy of your time, trust me. It is a good game, and I enjoyed it, and I still would probably even talk about it right now. I would like to pop this in and play it, because it was really fun. I found it really challenging. You had the feeling of speed, but you still at least had to hit your brakes occasionally. This is actually, makes me kind of sad, because this game is actually really good. I kid you not. This is when Electronic Arts was actually good. Could you believe that? They were actually some point considered being good. Moving on. Now here's a game that most people, but me, and that's Panzer General. This is actually one of my first strategy games when I was growing up. Here's that. Inside. Sorry. Here's the styrofoam book. And what's also cool is the manual. I actually have the small case manual and the cover art from the small case version, the jewel case. So yeah, I got both the long box and the jewel case and the long box. I gotta fix that. Well, sorry about that. Panzer General was my first original strategy game. I mean, turn-based wise and everything when I was growing up. And it's still, It's aged relatively well, but I gotta say that it's still a deep and meaningful game to me. Panzer General is a wonderful and a great experience that thing I love. Even to this day, I can memorize the sound and the sounds of it. It's just burnt inside my brain. This is a game that I adore. Man, I would love to hear more about people talk about Panzer General. It does not get enough love. It's not maybe the greatest strategy game, but it's a worthy strategy game in people's top 10. I kid you not. I probably say that a lot. Sorry. But it is a great game. I'm glad to have it in such great condition and have the original small manual, the jewel case stuff inside of it. So yeah, great game, great strategy if you're into that. And it's based in World War II, so you actually play as Germany. Yeah, there's no selecting allies in this. If you play the main campaign, you are Germany. You're Hitler. So I just thought that was really amazing. This is a game that you're full-fledged the bad guys. Now, bad guys is subjective, but then you get what I'm trying to say here. Now, you play as what most people commonly view as the bad guys. So that's not very common in video games. You gotta admit that you play as the bad guys. So look up Panzer General, and they actually can change the outcome of the game. There's several kinds of endings you can get depending on how fast you move, how strong you are by the time you get to the end of the game. So yeah, look up Panzer General if you can. Put on Primal Rage. Now I remember playing this game when I was a kid. Alright, sorry. Styrofoam, manual, disc. Now, it's not aged well. I hold on to it because it was a deep, passionate part of my life, and I'm proud to have it in such great condition. But Primal Rage is a good little fighting game arcade. The problem is that it holds tried and true to its arcade style, so that when you play and you lose a match, you win a match, let's say it's just a quick fight, it takes you all the way back to the main menu. You have to reinitiate everything, and it's got some horrendous load times. Or was it load times? I think it was load times. There was something that took forever. Like, you had to actually wait for this clock to tick down before you could even start up another fight. It was really annoying. But Primal Rage actually just holds it first in my life. Playing the dinosaur, playing as the gorilla, playing as the raptor. They all actually have names in this, and they're revered as gods, if I recall. So, but I always played as, what was it, I think I always played as this like blue lizard thing. I don't know if you can see it in the light. This blue lizard thing right there. I always played that when I was a kid. And one of my brothers always played as the orange Tyrannosaurus Rex, and my other brother played as the red Tyrannosaurus Rex, or T-Rex, however you want to call it. And my sister always played as raptor, if I recall. None of us played the gorilla. Come on. Why would you play a dinosaur and play a fucking gorilla? Oh, I cursed. Sorry. But anyway, Primal Rage. You can just ignore it, but if you're a collector, it's something to have on your shelf. Another one. Sorry, quite a few here. Rayman. Now I remember playing this when I was a kid too, and it still holds up. Trust me on that. Manual, disc, and cover. Rayman. There's not much I can really say. Oh, it's Rayman, It's Rayman. Rayman, the original, is how Rayman should be. This is what I meant, was when some games just don't even need to change. Like when I was talking about Gex, how if it come back into 2D, much like Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins. Go back to the original. This is why we loved it. This is why we play it. This is a good game, even though it's slow, even especially if you try to play the newer Raymans and you try to play the old ones, it's really, really slow. But still colorful. Man, I kid you not. This is like, I kid you not again. But it still holds up to the visual coloring quality of the newer ones. It is really pretty. But other than that, it's still Rayman. It's still challenging and everything, but it's Rayman. There's nothing really else I could say. It's Rayman. So if you played the other Raymans, you kind of expect what you're gonna play in this Rayman. Just expect it slower and aged. So look up Rayman. It's actually kind of hard to find a long box. I kid you not. I gotta stop saying that. It's pretty hard to find a long box. So I'm really proud to actually have it. Oh, here's a game that I adore. Resident Evil, the original long box, all in mint condition. Open this up. Manual and styrofoam and disc. It's Resident Evil. What can I say that has not been said? Now, whether some will tell you that the second one's better than the first one, they're even with me. Resident Evil, I was so scared to play this game when I was a kid. I could not even play this when I was a kid. I watched my dad play it. Man, I remember seeing the zombies' heads explode. I remember seeing their arms falling off and stuff like that. Man, I was too scared. I remember Dad trying to pass me the controller when I was a kid, and I was like, it's like, no, you play. But I wanted to watch. That's all I did. But when I got older, I'm probably the hardest core in the family to play survival horror games. Kid you not. Truthfully, I do endure survival horror games. I love them so much, and it was thanks to this game. A game that I was terrified. I mean, dreadfully terrified. It blows my mind to think that this game scared the crap out of me. And I will say that openly. But you ever looked at the cover art and thought it was really weird? The gun looks really funny. Like, it was like somebody took a marker, a little piece there that's not really supposed to be there. Just look at it next time if you get a chance. But not Resident Evil, there's not much I can say that everyone else has already not said, or has said, or however you want to look at it. I mean, it's Resident Evil. It's a great game. Regardless of the first one or second one, you need to play at least the original to get the full love of Resident Evil. Now, you don't really need to get this version because it doesn't support DualShock, and it does have a bit of different music, but I mean, there's another one called the Director's Cut, which doesn't come in a long box or a smaller box, which I do have, but I mean, this is just worthy of my collection because it holds a place in my heart, and Facebook. But, you're probably going to hear several posts. She likes to post me a lot. But, it's just, a great game, and I hope, you should have already played Resident Evil, and even done HD remakes of them, remade the entire game. You better have played Resident Evil, and if you haven't, shame on you. Shame on you. You probably should look at the camera, not the screen. I've probably been looking at the screen this entire time. Sorry. I'm still doing it. It's not easy. But look up Resident Evil. It's a lot of fun. Play it. Moving on. Another game that I love. Road Rash. Road Rash. Yep. I hold it up again so you can see it more clear. There's the side. There's the back. And the inside. You probably don't care to see the inside, but I'm actually really proud of having the manual and the styrofoam and the disc. It's not easy to find. If anyone tells you as a collector, that is not easy to come across. Mint condition and everything. Road Rash was an amazing game when I was growing up. You drive in fast speeds and everything, sprite graphics, and to this day, I still consider this the best Road Rash. I've played the other ones. No. Even with the 3D graphics and everything like that, no. The Nintendo 64 version, no. You get the original Road Rash on the PS1. Now, there might be another version that I'm not thinking of. I think there's another version of this, but I can't think of what platform it's on. I'm sure you'll find out when you look that up. You just ride on motorcycles and you bash other people with weapons and fists and try to knock them off. What was amazing when I was growing up is that the fact that you were able to smack somebody off and you see them rolling around, you actually had to run back to your motorcycle and have to pick it up and hop back on it and go. See, when I was growing up, you knock somebody off the motorcycle, you wrecked or something like that, you would just blink a couple seconds and then reappear back on the bike and just go. But this time, you actually flew off and had to get back on. And then, if you messed up so much, then you would actually have an ambulance come up and actually save your motorcycle and not you. That was hilarious. Now, the art in this game, it's not the most amazing. It's not, let's say it's not bad, it's just wacky and weird. I mean, you pop this game in, it almost looks like a professional racing game, motorcycle game when you play it. But when you see the art and you see these punk star looking people and mohawks and gangster kind of stuff, it's one way than the other. But it's actually have some little progression in it. You actually get a campaign. You actually get better motorcycles, get money, and upgrade certain aspects, better weapons. So try to play the original. Emulate it if you have to. I don't care. I'm not recommending it to you, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just telling you that play the original Road Rash. I don't know if this is on PSN, but play Road Rash. It's worthy of your time. Even if I gotta say that 100 times in this video, I'm telling you these games are worthy of your time. Next one is Space Griffon VF9. Now, I didn't really play much of this game, and it's an Atlas game. I was actually surprised to come across this. It's an old Atlas game. Manual's in there too. It's pretty dark. I don't know if you could see it. And it shines Atlas. It's got anime. I don't know if you can see it right down at the bottom. It's animated and everything. It's got voice acting. It's actually pretty good on that aspect. But the controls are not as good. If this had the controls of that Kileak DNA Imperative, this would have blown it out of the water. But its controls are really bad. I don't really enjoy it. But then, for what it's time in Atlas, then yes, it's got Atlas right at the bottom. So if you can see it. Atlas. I was surprised and I popped it in, and it's definitely Atlas, and I'll probably try to play more of this, but I actually got into Kileak a little bit more, but hopefully I can give more time to this game, and hopefully this can inspire you to look this game up. I don't know, but try it out, man. Let me know what you think too. I would love to hear your opinions of all these games. In fact, I would actually like to see your collections. Moving on, another one that I grew up playing, Tekken. Yep, the original Tekken on the PS1. Here's the side, inside, manual, styrofoam. What can I say? It's Tekken. Man, this was one of the first original fighting games. Now, I'm not the biggest fighting game fan out there, but I still appreciate the original Tekken. This was before, this got rid of, this when I was playing, like, Mortal Kombat, and you had powers and stuff like that. But when I played Tekken, it was the first fighting game that did not require powers and everything. It was just straight up fist fighting. Wow. I always played as King. If you've ever played this, you would know King. He's the one who's right in the middle. He's a wrestler with a tiger head on his head. Or tiger mask, really. And he's a wrestler. He gets in the ring, and he actually has I think he has a championship belt on himself, too. But Tekken is a great game and everything. And well, a lot of these characters are still in the original ones that comes out now. You would think, but Tekken was a great game, and I hope to keep the greatness of this game going, because Tekken has always had a special place in my heart. Now, this is not the best Tekken in the world. The best Tekken, in my opinion, is Tekken 3. It has nothing to be compared to Tekken 3. Maybe Tekken Tag Team Tournament. I think it's Tag Team Tournament, or just Tag Tournament, but you know what I'm talking about. That was probably the next best Tekkens I've ever played. But original Tekken, adore it, respect it, love it. Have it. Get Tekken. Then you don't have to really get this one, but at least play 3. You won't regret it. Moving on. Now here's an interesting one. Theme Park. It's a game where you build your own carnival. Now I really get into these kind of games where you build your base and stuff like that, and build like a city and town. Carnival, whatever you call it, simulators kind of stuff and everything. The theme park had I can't say it has a special place in my heart, but I always remembered it. My dad got it, and he started playing it, and I love to see him build his roller coasters and manage all these expenses and have customers come in, and it was actually really good and everything. And playing it now, I have noticed a lot of bugs in this game, like music would cut out and characters get stuck in this area. They'll keep cleaning the same area even though you're paying them and they're not cleaning the rest of the park. And other glitches too here and there, but still, I am glad to have it. And I always joked about this, that this is the game where the pancakes shake hand. Yes, by that I mean there was a pancakes that was sat right in front of you, basically like this, and you see these two hands coming in like this, like a handshake. Like a handshake, like that, and it was like you were working up some deal. It was like a mini game. You had to press the button really quickly and try to line the hands so they would shake before the pancakes ran out. It's like you were eating pancakes as you were trying to shake hands. It was like trying to work up some deal. We always called it the pancake game because I always remembered it for that because it was so funny and just the weirdest thing in the world. But this is Theme Park. I won't really recommend it. There's other better, like Tycoon, I think it's this Kirkus game is called. You get that on PC, and I think this first one's on the Xbox, the original Xbox. But this is where it originally started. The original, I think this is actually the original first theme park making game. It's a good game, and I adore sprite graphics, so this game has nothing but sprite graphics, and that is always a plus in my book. Moving on to, of course, if you have a PS1 games, Twisted Metal. Yep. The original Twisted Metal in long box. Now, I would like to try to get this in the original small box, like the jewel case, because there is a black version, and it's actually, I mean, a black case, small case jewel. I don't want to get the greatest hits. I want to make sure it's not to say I care about greatest hits. I just would like it, since this is black, I would keep it like I keep it nothing but the original black label. There's the inside, but it's Twisted Metal, man. How could you not play? If you've played a PS1 in your entire life, you've played Twisted Metal. Now, Twisted Metal is maybe not the best one out there. Most people tell you Twisted Metal 2. I like them all, to be honest with you. I just, after Black, now, it's probably the last best one. But Twisted Metal has a special place in my heart. It's hard. If you ever played the original Twisted Metals, since there's no save and you have to use passwords, and yeah, they actually, before this, they didn't use the memory cards. They just used passwords. So it made it that much harder. And you had extra guys, lives. So when you lost all 3 lives, you had to start all the way back to the beginning. So, Twisted Metal, and it had a special place, and then explosions, death. Sweet Tooth was not my favorite. Warthog was always my favorite. Or Warhog. Or I think it was Wart or Warhog. Isn't it right here? Warthog, yeah, right here. So we can see him, he's right there. Yep, that's the one guy I always played, right there, Doug. I was always really into military kind of stuff like that. Because you know, by Panzer General, I always got into military concept stuff. But, great game. We all enjoyed playing it. It had 1 to 2 players, so we used to sit around. And, surprisingly enough, this is the only Twisted Metal that I know, that it has a cockpit mode. Yes, it's funny to think that Twisted Metal had a cockpit mode. And this is probably the only one I know that it hasn't. Now, I would love if they released another Twisted Metal that it had cockpit mode. I adore cockpit mode now in any vehicle game. I want to feel like I'm inside of it. I'm actually driving it. It gives you a whole new experience, especially if you wear headphones. It gives you a whole new perspective to it. Definitely look up Twisted Metal. You can pretty much get it anywhere pretty much now, from emulator to PSN to pretty much can find it pretty cheap now. You won't find the long box too easy to come across, but you'll find a small tool case perfectly easily. Greatest Hits Edition 2. Now the last one on the spectrum. I said I was really into strategy games and all that stuff, and really into simulators and everything like that. But probably the hardest game in PS1 era. There's no harder game. XCOM UFO Defense. This is great. This game will make your life a living hell. There's the inside manual. Styrofoam. There's no comparison to this game because it's so hard. I remember when I watched my dad play it. I didn't really have the greatest memory because I was pretty young at the time. I was usually playing other stuff, but XCOM, my lord, is hard, but one of the best strategy games out there. And I'm so glad that they're actually remaking them and bringing it out to the wider audience. Now, it's not going to be like this one. This game is really complex and really in depth, and to the point where you had to manage your finances, to how many clips. Yes, in this one, you had to carry how many clips. If you ran a clips, one character does not have ammo, so you had to make sure you managed every single soldier, what he had on him and what he was going into battle with. So that's what made it so hard, is the fact that, and if he died, this game is not forgiving at all. And I mean, putting it on the easiest difficulty, it's like putting it on classic mode on the newer ones. Now, I'm not bashing the newer ones. I actually think that the newer ones are a better step to the franchise, because if it was like this, it would not bode well for most people would say it's for console peasants and stuff like that, which I do have a gaming PC actually right beside me right now, but I still adore consoles and I still love collecting them and everything, and I agree. I wish that XCOM 2 was coming to console. Maybe it will be by the time you watch this video. Maybe it is coming to console now. So, I don't know. But right now, when I release this video, it's exclusive to PC. So, XCOM 2, if you want to look up XCOM 2 for PC, or XCOM Enemy Unknown, or Enemy Within, which is an expansion to Enemy Unknown, is a good sequel starting point to it. But if you want to play the meat and bones and grind of the game, the true XCOM, I will admit, this is the true XCOM. XCOM UFO Defense. It's easily able to be get on PC and on Steam, so look it up. PS1 is actually kind of rare, so you might have a hard time getting it. Well, that's about it in the long boxes. Yes, there will be a part 2, a part 3, and a part 4. Now, I have other collection video things you can see behind me. So I only really do videos until you see a full road from here to here. Thing right here. That's when you'll know that I will do a video on it. But right now I will do the PS1 and I will see what maybe the PS2, maybe Nintendo. I don't know, but tell me what you think about the collection, and I hope I didn't make this video very hard and very long and thing. I just want to talk about video games with you guys, and why I chose these games and why I love them. To me, it's boring to watch somebody say, hey, I got this, hey, I got this, hey, I got this. I want to show you why I chose these games and show you in-depth versions of it. And on top of that, this is not a bragging video. This is a video that I want to show you and share with you the love of video games. And I hope I can inspire you to collect like I did. And what inspired me was Alpha Mega Sin, Pete Doors, and Happy Console Gamer. They're the three that really inspired me to make a gaming collection. I watched them play, and I was sitting there like, wow, they have all these games, and I want those games. So I just buckled down and I started collecting. And I hope I can maybe be one of those people that inspire you. And it's not a cheap thing, so do it in your discretion. Don't get addicted to it. It's easy to get addicted to it. You start seeing games, you're gonna start buying and putting in your collection. It starts scrambling brains and telling you, making you think you're buying stuff you shouldn't be buying, especially at ridiculous prices. They'll gouge your ass for certain games. But this is my collection. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I can bring the second part to you. And hopefully this all turned out good, not corrupt video and stuff like that, because I'm gonna be really upset that happened. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and hopefully I'll come back with the next one. And sorry for the delays. I'll get you on more Let's Plays when I can. So, there it is. Sorry. Controller! Stop the video. I'll leave that in there just for the shits and giggles of it. Alright, I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!